Nottoway. Brain waves. We got to talk about this one because this is a big story. We're going to change up the music, right? Let me just say this. There's a lot that's going on out here. All right. There's a whole lot that's going on out here. And what a lot is going on that you all are seeing is related to sin. You see, all of these stories, all of these situations, all of these cases, all of the celebrity stuff, all of the things going on, it all permeates from sin. Now, you might not want to admit it's sin. You may not agree with me that it's sin. I'm just trying to tell you, all of this stuff is related. That's going on lately. It's sin. It's all sin based. And what's happened is a lot of sin has been able to run rampant and be prevalent for a long time. And people didn't see it as sin. Why? Because certain things did not take place. There were no consequences, so to speak, or no immediate consequences. It looked like everything was fine. So a lot of people believed that these things weren't sin when in fact they actually were sin. Well, I told y'all that 2025, for those of you that have been following me and for those of you that are just now following me, you're going to learn that I came up with a saying in 2024 for this year in 2025, which is this is the year of the shake up, break up, wake up, make up. I told y'all all these things and more is going to be taking place. You got to stop and think. These series of events have not taken place before. We have not had these combination of events. What's going on? I told y'all it's things we're going to have to acknowledge. We're going to have to acknowledge that there's sin out here. We have to acknowledge the consequences of it. We have to acknowledge what's going on. And so what I want to show y'all is from a spiritual perspective. I'm going to show y'all some footage. I'm going to show y'all some things. I'm going to show y'all some information that perhaps you have never seen before, that no one has actually been biblically bold enough to present to you all. You see, I'm going to show it to y'all because you need to know about it. Because if you see it and you know about it, then you have the responsibility to acknowledge it or choose not to acknowledge it. What we're going to get into, if you haven't read the title, is that the Annabelle doll. For those of you that don't know, we're going to have a brief little history on the Annabelle doll. But the Annabelle doll, all the Annabelle movies, you got the Conjuring movies, all of that talks about the Annabelle doll. Okay. This doll has created nothing but sin, chaos. That's no other way to describe it. You've had a series of events take place in New Orleans. You've had a series of events also take place in San Antonio. And there are other spots where this doll is actually now on tour. Now, see, normally it is housed in Connecticut. With you have two individuals named Ed and Lorraine. If you're familiar with the Annabelle movie, the Annabelle series or what have you, then you will understand who Ed and Lorraine is. All right. But nonetheless, this doll is normally housed with them in their museum. But for some reason, somebody decided to take this actual doll on tour. Now, I want to do a quick check in the chat. For those of you that are here in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with the Annabelle doll. If you've heard of it, if you've seen any of the movies, if you just have any idea what I'm talking about. I want to see some crowd participation. And again, for those of you watching this on the replay, please keep in mind, this is a live chat. This is not a video. So there's going to be crowd participation, as they say. There's going to be interaction that I do with my audience. But we're going to get to some things in a moment. I just want to see if anyone's familiar. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about as it relates to what is this Annabelle doll, then also put that in the live chat. Okay? Because I'm about to show you some things spiritually that y'all need to understand. And again, I don't know if anybody else is showing it to y'all. And I'm going to talk about something that I put in the title, this breaking news, which is Marie Laveau's house has also caught on fire. For those of you that don't know who Marie Laveau is, in Louisiana, in New Orleans culture, Nowlands, right? In the Nowlands culture, she was a big voodoo priestess, but she was a hairdresser amongst many other things. It's just crazy that with all the things and how long her house has been there and been a major attraction in the French Quarter, that all of a sudden her house caught on fire when Annabelle pulled up. Let me repeat this. All of a sudden, Marie Laveau's house caught on fire. After all these years, all this craziness, her house caught on fire once Annabelle pulled up. And this is breaking. Okay, so at least somebody knows about it. Julian knows about Annabelle. He said he's not sure if he's watching any of the films in full length, but he knows what about Annabelle. I mean, Annabelle is one of the most terrifying dolls ever. Like, literally. Let's see if I can pull this up, okay? Let's take a look at this and we're gonna get into the video content. I gotta break this down because y'all gotta understand why I'm calling this sin chaos. This is literally sin chaos. This is crazy, man. So let's go ahead and get this on the screen real quick. All right. The Annabelle doll is a Raggedy Ann doll. Hopefully y'all know what a Raggedy Ann doll. A lot of you youngins, y'all might not know what that is. Look it up or pay attention what's on the screen. A Raggedy Ann doll, that was a popular doll back in my day growing up. You know, and perhaps some of your parents or what have you, depending on how young you are. It was a very popular doll. But anyway, the Annabelle doll is a Raggedy Ann doll that is said to be possessed by a demon. Some people say it's not just possessed by a demon, it's possessed by the devil himself. Okay, it is the inspiration for the Annabelle horror film franchise. Though the movies fictionalize the doll's story, the real Annabelle's doll story, as told by the Warrens, that's Ed and Lorraine, who actually have this doll under lock and key. And this is the same doll that's going on tour. It's by Ed and Lorraine Warren. They also played a character in the Annabelle movie franchise. It involves, though, a young nurse and her roommate experiencing strange occurrences after receiving the doll. We're going to break this down real quick so y'all can understand what the doll is. For those of you that know about this doll, my apologies, but I got to break this down because it seems like my audience is unfamiliar with this doll. So, back in 1970, a nursing student named Donna received a Raggedy Ann doll as a birthday gift from her mom. So Mom Dukes, her mom, broke her off with a Raggedy Ann doll as a gift. Again, this is old school. Back in 1970, this doll was the ish, man. Like every girl, whatever, every woman, you like if you ain't had a Raggedy Ann doll, you was lame. Like this was the ish. So anyway, this nursing student named Donna received a Raggedy Ann doll as a birthday gift for her mom. What happened was it was strange occurrences right after. So Donna and her roommate, Angie, began experiencing unsettling events around the doll, including it appearing in different locations, moving on its own, and leaving notes. So they contacted a medium, right? Hey, I don't rock with none of that stuff, but I'm just telling you, this is the history, right? It is what it is. So they contacted a medium. And they said they consulted a medium who claimed the doll was possessed by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. This is what the medium claimed. Now, we know about the background with mediums. Those of you that come from the biblical, spiritual community, you know, the Hebrew Israelite community, what have you. Y'all know what I'm talking about, Catholic community. Y'all know our understanding when it comes to mediums. But nonetheless, this is the history. So anyway, Ed and Lorraine Warren had intervened. So what happened was Donna and Angie also sought help from a paranormal investigator named Ed and Lorraine, okay, Warren. What happened was after that, you had the demon and the doll actually had some manipulation, right? Hold on one second. So you had Ed and Lorraine Warren, they had intervened. And so what ended up happening is they are paranormal investigators. Again, y'all know what we feel. Y'all know what we believe about paranormal investigators. I don't want to hear nobody talking, whatever. I'm giving y'all the backdrop. So what ended up happening was after that, the demon started to manipulate things. So the Warrens had concluded that the doll was not possessed, but rather manipulated by a demon. Do you understand? So anyway, the doll ended up being locked up into the Warrens museum. The Warrens took possession of the doll and they housed it in their occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut. So if you were to go to Monroe, Connecticut, hey, that's on you. You go into their museum, you would see this doll, you would see whatever occult stuff they got. So now you have continued controversy to this day, where it said that even after the Warrens' death and the museum's closure, the doll has continued to be a subject of fascination and controversy. The current status right now is that the real Annabelle doll is currently on tour, causing a stir among fans and critics alike. Okay, so again, y'all can see about the movie. They got dolls, they got Halloween costumes for those people who celebrate Halloween, yada, yada, yada. All right, so what I want to do is switch to what is taking place. And we're going to look at some video footage and everything, right? We got some video footage and everything coming up. So what you're seeing right now on the screen is the Hollywood version of the Raggedy Ann doll. Okay, this is the Hollywood version of Annabelle. As you can see in the background, this particular house on fire, this is the Nottoway Plantation that just recently caught on fire. I covered that story, right? So let's talk about this. It said that the legendary Annabelle doll, yes, the same one made infamous by the Conjuring universe and housed at Ed and Lorraine Warren's Occult Museum, has reportedly made a stop in New Orleans as a part of a paranormal exhibit tour. Just in case y'all want to see, if you take a look at this real quick, you can see that the doll from their occult museum actually visited Louisiana, specifically New Orleans, from a special event at Ghost City Tours. It said the event took place on the nights of May 13th and May 14th. Obviously, we also had a full moon around there. Check this out. I just thought about that. So this is some crazy energy. Let me see. I believe it was the 12th. Yeah, check this out. So you got to stop and think what's going on here. I'm trying to give y'all game because all of this is sin nature. This is sin chaos. But check this out. You had a full moon on Monday, May the 12th, right? This was last Monday or what have you. You had a full moon. Then, besides them having a full moon, then all of a sudden, on May the 13th, which the moon is still in its height and its energy and it was still full, now you got Annabelle coming in. So look at how this is crazy how it was timed. It's just like, it's all freaky. In my opinion, it's like sinful. It's just too ironic and too much of a coincidence that Annabelle pulls up in New Orleans during a full moon on May the 13th and May the 14th, right? They got to see it. But anyway, so y'all understand that, right? I just wanted to throw that out so y'all can see what's going on here, right? Now, let's read this. Like I said, the legendary Annabelle doll, yes, the same one made infamous by the Conjuring universe and housed at Ed and Lorraine Warren's Occult Museum, has reportedly made a stop in New Orleans as a part of a paranormal exhibit tour. Since her arrival, a strange wave of unsettling events has people across South Louisiana asking, is it just coincidence or something more sinister? Me personally, I believe it's something more sinister. I believe this is a bunch of sin going on. It's just too much with the full moon timing and all of this stuff. So anyway, we had a jailbreak. We got a fire that took place at Nottoway Plantation. You know what I'm saying? And all this haunted timeline. Okay, so it says shortly after Annabelle was displayed at a private paranormal event in New Orleans in the French Quarter, a series of bizarre and serious incidents followed. Okay, let's check this out. So we had a jailbreak in a nearby parish that left authorities scrambling to recapture escaped inmates just days after the doll's arrival. And mind you, they're still trying to capture all of the escaped inmates. Okay, so why is it that all of a sudden we have these escaped inmates during a full moon, right after Annabelle arrives and she pull up? right? Then y'all know about the historic Nottoway Plantation, one of Louisiana's grandest antebellum estates, and mind you, one of the grandest antebellum estates, period, mysteriously caught fire, leaving heavy damage and unanswered questions. Remember, they still trying to investigate, how did this happen? How did this happen? And what you're finding is it's just a random boom. All of a sudden, it's a random manifestation of a fire. Y'all got to pay attention. Random manifestation of a fire. Peep game, man. This is sin. This is crazy. All right. And then on top of all of this, you got locals that live in Louisiana, live in Nolens, have also reported electrical disturbances. Okay. A lot of this electrical energy is, when you have a lot of electrical energy like that, it is said that those are particular like spirits or ghosts of things trying to come through, things trying to tap in and harness that energy, could drain that energy. It is said that like when people go after trying to get evidence for these ghosts and spirits and hauntings, that their camera equipment suddenly dies or the battery drains and all types of stuff like that. And that's essentially the spirits trying to tap into the energy of those devices to manifest itself. Anyway, that's what they say. But anyway, it says locals have also reported electrical disturbances. You have pet behavior changes. Okay, so pets been going crazy. And y'all know what it said about pets. Pets can pick up on the spirit of people. Pet can also pick up on spirits. So if there's something crazy spiritual going on, hey, pet's gonna know. They're gonna start going crazy. They're gonna start acting weird. And it says, and even unexplained noises in homes near the event location. Come on now, what's these unexplained noises? That's paranormal activity. That's some type of ghost. That's that sin chaos going on. Now, it says some might dismiss it all as superstition. You know, that's how a lot of people say, man, that's your fake. I don't believe in that stuff. Yet the Bible tells you to avoid this. If the Bible tells you to avoid these things, then it got to be some validity behind it. It got to be something real. Anyway, it says some might dismiss it as superstition. Some of y'all here may be watching and listening right now, dismissing it. Others, especially those who attended the Annabelle exhibit, aren't so sure. Okay, let's go down. This is the local reaction to Annabelle. They say it's too much to ignore. This is coming from the locals, y'all. Now, somebody says, I'm not saying Annabelle caused it, said one attendee. But all of this stuff happening at once, it's too much to ignore. Social media lit up with posts connecting the dots with memes, conspiracy threads, and even live stream Annabelle watchers keeping tabs on her movements in and around Louisiana. Okay, now here's what the experts say. You have a paranormal investigator, Dr. Elise Darbon, told us the Annabelle doll has always carried a reputation for chaos. This is a doll known for chaos. If you've seen any of these movies, it's just straight chaos around this doll. They say, this doctor says, whether or not you believe in spirits, the psychological power of suggestion is very real. And people behave differently when they believe something dark is at play. It goes on to say, coincidence or curse? Whether you're a skeptic or believer, one thing is certain. Annabelle's brief stay in Nolens has added a chilling chapter to her already infamous legacy. And with more stops reportedly planned across the Gulf South, San Antonio is one of those stops. Many are watching closely just in case the strange events follow her again. Now, they're asking you, have you noticed anything odd since Annabelle's visit? Drop your stories in the comments or tag us on social media. Look, maybe it's somebody that's watching in the background that has seen these things, that has attended. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull this up because this talks about what happened in San Antonio, right? So this is an article here that's talking about what happened with San Antonio. It says demonic Annabelle arrives in San Antonio amid complaints about the spooky stuff. Again, they're saying it's too much to ignore. It says Annabelle arrived in San Antonio for a psychic and spirit fest, drawing attention from esoteric acolytes and creating panic among locals. Listen, y'all, the locals didn't want this stuff here. They didn't want that sin brought there. But you know what? I told you it's sin chaos. It was brought there anyway. Okay, I guess this is a picture Uh, yeah, it says Annabelle scare continues. Residents in the vicinity, this is San Antonio now, of the event site have reportedly reported strange noises, changes in pet behavior, and electricity disruptions. The same thing that took place in Nolens. Now you got to stop and think. These exact same occurrences took place in Nolens when Annabelle pulled up there, and now she in San Antonio, or whenever the time of this was in San Antonio. You got these strange occurrences going on. Come on now, the exact same occurrences. It says that Annabelle arrived in San Antonio for this weekend's Psychic and Spirit Fest, drawing attention from. I already read that. They flocked to Victoria's Black Swan Inn for the opportunity to see a haunting doll. In its fourth year, the event attracted about 1,200 people to one of San Antonio's spooky locations. It says, I don't know, Curious Twins Paranormal, who do ghost tours and other paranormal activities in San Antonio, planned the event. It says, when not on tour, the Annabelle doll is on exhibit at the Warren's Occult Museum in Connecticut, where Daniel Rivera works as an official and also accompanies the doll on its tour. It says, speaking to San Antonio's current Stephanie Cothan, Rivera stated he had precautions in place. He constructed the glass enclosed box that holds Annabelle with a sign that reads, "Warning, positively do not open." He clarified that the three crosses that were incorporated inside the wooden box symbolized the Trinity. According to Rivera, a priest blesses the Warren's Occult Museum once a month. Listen, y'all, and let me say this. You don't find folks in the Hebrew Israelite faith talk about blessing people when they're dealing with stuff like this. You don't hear people in the Christian faith, but you hear people in the Catholic faith doing it. So anyway, let's look at this article, because what this says is that, is it 100%? Meaning the priest blessing the box and the session or what have you, like where they go in it and the crosses, I don't know, all the precautions they take it. Is it 100%? So it says, is it 100% going to protect us all? No, because we're dealing with something that is demonic, Rivera said, adding that it has the wisdom of time. That's crazy. It says a Devils on the Run tour organized by paranormal investigator Ryan Daniel Buell is taking the doll on a tour. His TikTok post about Annabelle's journey has sparked a predictive outrage and panic response on the internet. So a lot of people are freaking out about this. Now, what I want to do is I want to show y'all, we're going to go to his particular TikTok, because I guess this is this guy's TikTok, and let's turn the music down. Let's start looking at some videos, because listen, y'all, the fact that all this stuff is happening at once with my particular background, when I used to be in New Age and all this stuff, and looking at what's going on with the Bible, watching what's going on in the world, seeing how all this play out, this is nothing but sin, chaos at its finest. And it seems like right now, every spot that Annabelle pulled up on, something crazy been going on. And you know what the Bible says about this, right? I showed y'all this yesterday. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17 through 18, that it says, therefore, let's read the NIV version in the middle. It says, therefore, come out from them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you. And I will be a father to you, and you will be my sons and daughters, says the Lord Almighty. So what this means is that you're supposed to come out of wickedness, come out of sin, and not be trying to pull up and touch this particular doll. Listen, y'all, there was somebody, there was a guy, let me come real quick, a little bit bigger on the screen. There was a guy that didn't believe. He thought that this was just mumbo jumbo. He was like, yeah, man, whatever with this Annabelle doll, this thing ain't real. So he was, I guess, at their museum. He went to the Warren's Museum in Connecticut. He actually, it was him and his girlfriend. So he knocked, like he tapped on the box or whatever of Annabelle. like he was tapping on it. I guess just going like this, right? He was tapping on it. He was like, and what he said is that if this is real, something to this extent, he basically said, if any of this is real, like I don't believe this. So make me believe this by making something happen. So of course, while he was there, it was fine. On his trip home from the museum, he was on a motorcycle. His girlfriend was riding with him on his motorcycle. He hit a tree, had a terrible accident. When he hit that tree, it literally unalived him. He was gone, and his girlfriend was in a hospital recovering for over a year. Y'all keep playing with this stuff. And see, what happens is he touched an unclean thing. You're not supposed to touch this stuff. But you got people that's fooling around with it. You know, hey, like I said, it's sin chaos. But what I want to do is get back to his the guy that's carrying the box around. We're gonna get around to these videos. I want y'all to see parts of this. We're gonna start talking about some other things. I want to show y'all some other videos. So let me get this pulled up real quick. Let's see.
Here in West Virginia State Penitentiary in Mount.
And that was one place that he went to. So I'm about to do a sound check. I want to make sure that this is working, and we're gonna go from there. Because if the sound is working, then we all to the good. If the sound's not working, then hey, I'm gonna make sure it's working. So bear with me real quick. Okay, so it's working. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna turn the music off so we can actually clearly hear this. All right, so the music's off. Let's go back. Now, this is a stop. He made a stop here. What was it? In some penitentiary in another state. But anyway, let's go.
Hey guys, Ryan here. I'm in West Virginia State Penitentiary in Mount.
Okay, so I'm going to run it back. This is in West Virginia. So what we got to do, too, I got to go back real quick and look and see if there's been any crazy occurrences in West Virginia. Because they used a closed down state penitentiary that's already known to be haunted. And that's where they had this doll in there, and they did ghost tours and all this crap. Man, this stuff is crazy, man. Or there was ghost hunting or something like that. Man, so listen, y'all. Those folks that went on that tour, those folks that actually went on the paranormal session with this doll, they're touching that doll. They're touching what you know is an unclean thing. Listen, y'all, when you know something or someone is unclean, you're not supposed to deal with it. Okay? There's somebody, like there's people, for example, when women are on their cycle, they're unclean. We're not supposed to be dealing with women during that time. You know what I'm talking about, dealing with them, smashing them. But how many guys smash women when they on their cycle anyway? I'm telling you, man, it's all sin. But anyway, that's another subject for another day. Let's get back to this and let's listen to what he got to say, because there's several videos I want to show y'all.
Hey guys, Ryan here. I'm in West Virginia State Penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia. Here with Annabelle.
And if you don't know, that's the Annabelle doll behind you, or behind him, whatever. You see, like right here where the cursor is, this is the actual Annabelle doll. It's like a Raggedy Ann. You'll see why it looks different in the movies, but this is the actual doll right here. Again, I got my cursor circling around it with the Holy Cross right here. This is the actual doll. So let's run it back.
Hey guys.
And on top of it, if you don't notice, it's a dang major arcana. You got the devil tarot card right there on it. That's to let you know that it's the straight devil. See right here where my cursor is? Y'all see this? Look at that right there. That's the devil tarot card. Look, I'll pull it up. Y'all need to understand this stuff, right? Because let's see. Here we go. I guess this is a picture. Let me see if this website will. I can open it up. Okay, let me show you this real quick. This is the Devil Tarot card. This card right here. This is the Devil Tarot card. This is exactly what you see that's sitting on. This is a major arcana card. Like I said, I used to know all about that stuff. I used to do tarot readings and stuff like that, right? I used to do all of that. So if anybody understands this stuff, it's me. If anybody's qualified to safely explain this stuff, it's me. You have literally the devil tarot card sitting on, let me go back to his TikTok. This is what this card is right here. And that's why you see it. Let me see if I can get a better picture real quick. Hold on. I want y'all to see this so y'all can understand and pay attention to the clues, right? Let me see if I can get a closer picture where you can probably see the doll. Okay, yeah, this might be it right here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we're gonna look at this real quick. All right, so you can see right here, this is that's devil. I don't know if it's bigger. Hold on. This right here, y'all can see it right here where the cursor is. You should be able to see it on the screen. This is the devil tarot card that's on here to let you know that this thing is the devil. I told you it's sin chaos. It's the straight devil. And again, it looked like a regular Raggedy Ann. You be like, okay, this is just a regular Raggedy Ann. Okay, you think it's a regular Raggedy Ann. Warning, positively do not open. But you know some idiot gonna try to go open the dang box. So that's what I wanted to show you. So anyway, back to the video. Let's get this on. All right, let's go.
Brian here. I'm in West Virginia State Penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia. Here with Annabelle. We tried to do some lives last night, but the service signal here isn't so great. But I wanted to actually address a question I kept seeing in the chat, which is, why on earth are you guys moving Annabelle, and what would Ed and Lorraine think of this? And I think there's some misconception there, misunderstanding, because Ed and Lorraine actually would travel around with the items from the museum, because they knew not everyone could come to Monroe, Connecticut to view the items. So back in the day, Ed and Lorraine would go to colleges and have like speaking events, and they would showcase some of the items. And then once a year for their Halloween event, they would actually bring Annabelle and some of the other items. The first time I actually met Annabelle was with Lorraine in Pennsylvania. Lorraine brought Annabelle to an event in eastern Pennsylvania so people could see the famous, infamous Annabelle. And they do this to educate the public on the dangers of the occult.
Did you hear what he just said? He just said the dangers of the occult. Yet you got so many people jumping into the occult, practicing the occult, and they don't even understand what they're doing. They touching a lot of unclean things, might I add. And they think it's just fine because they didn't see any consequences or see any immediate consequences or things that take place in their life. They don't see a connection to them touching an unclean thing. But anyway, let's go.
Talk about the case. And the reason why, Nesper, the group, still does this to this day is they want to carry on the legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren. And two, since the Conjuring movies came out, they can't bring people to the actual house in the museum anymore because it's in a neighborhood. So, decades ago, Ed and Lorraine used to host little events at their house. But now with the huge public interest, that's why the Nesper family, the Warrens family, occasionally allow the items to come out. So that way people can view them. They can learn about the dangers of the occult, learn about the legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren, learn about the work. So I hope that answers y'all's questions. We'll have more content later. Thank you.
All right, so that's one video here. Let's see. Let's go back and look. Look, here it is being moved into the French Quarter. Anybody that's been down to the French Quarter might be familiar with this area. I got family in Nolens. I've been to the French Quarter. I know what it's like. Let's look at some other clips he got here. I guess this was it in the West Virginia Penitentiary. So let's just turn the music off because I don't. Some of the music I can't play, but that's them moving the doll. There, it's crazy, man. This is what people do. I just want y'all to see this is what people do. Let's see. Let's look at maybe one or two more from his page. Um, oh, I guess this is this on his page. I guess it is. I don't know. Anyway, let's just look at a couple of these. Whatever. Let's go for it.
What are y'all's thoughts regarding? All right, y'all, I gotta know, what are y'all's thoughts regarding the Annabelle doll that everyone is in a frenzy about? So, in case you didn't know, another Annabelle movie sequel is coming out this year. So, the doll has been on tour across the United States recently, and this is sending many people into a panic. Ryan Daniel Beale is a paranormal investigator, and he's also the former host of Paranormal State. And he is reportedly posting videos on TikTok of the doll's tour that it's on, and that's called the Devils on the Run tour. And on the tour, he is taking items from a museum like the Annabelle doll. The museum is called Warren's Occult Museum. He's taking these items that are haunted or supposedly haunted all around America. But people are really worried due to the warnings from the Warrens. And that warning was to never move the doll, no matter what. So if the doll is coming, move the doll, no matter what. The warning was to never move the doll, no matter what. The Warrens. And that warning was to never move the doll, no matter what. So if the doll is coming anywhere near people, they're kind of freaking out. And I mean, I don't really blame them. As you already know, Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann type doll pictured here on the left. And she was given to a nurse in the 1970s as a gift. And that nurse then brought Annabelle home. Shortly after, the nurse and people who lived in her home started to report strange and unexplained behavior from the doll. For example, Annabelle would supposedly move on her own, and she even supposedly attacked a person before. That's when the Warrens from the Warrens Museum stepped in to investigate, and the two of them reportedly claimed that Annabelle was being manipulated by a spirit. So they then performed an exorcism, and they then took the doll with them and put her in the museum. Now she is touring the country. Like, one place she went was a penitentiary in West Virginia that is already haunted in itself, supposedly. She was also transported to San Antonio, Texas for the Psychic Festival. It was said the people traveling with her even have a Catholic priest with them. A lot of people are literally pissed off that this man is moving the doll because Ed and Lorraine Warren said no matter what happens to them, Annabelle does not need to leave that museum. But he's going against moving the doll because Ed and Lorraine Warren said no matter what happens to them, Annabelle does not need to leave that museum. But he's going moving the doll because Ed and Lorraine Warren said no matter what happens to them, Annabelle does not need to leave that museum. But
You know what Ed and Lorraine was saying about that doll not leaving the museum? Touch not an unclean thing. That's what their wishes was. They said, leave it here. We got it. We got it contained. Leave this thing here. Do not touch it. Do not deal with it. And guess what's happening? You got these guys touching it. You got these guys taking it around. And look at all the craziness that's been taking place as a result, man. This stuff is wild, man. Let's go.
he's going against their wishes and the warnings that they gave. The doll reportedly also went to New Orleans, Louisiana this week, and shortly after, strange things started to happen in the town, including 10 people escaping from prison, and now, well, people are saying that the energy feels off in that area. And they're
See, that's another thing. The energy feels off. See, that's something that only you're going to hear from the locals. Let's go.
blaming the doll for this. So what do y'all think? Are they wrong for moving her? Do you think she's really haunted or controlled by a spirit? Is she to blame for the escaped inmates? I do believe in spirits and things like this. I don't think she's to blame for the inmates escaping though, but I definitely don't think it was smart for them to move her against the Warrens' wishes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and for more content, be sure to follow.
This is crazy, man. Let me switch to some things else. So let me show you how Marie Laveau's house caught on fire. This is so. Let me show y'all. For those of you that don't know, I gotta kind of show you who she is, because a lot of people are not versed in the history. A lot of people don't know who she is and what's what. Okay, let me actually play. You had Angela Bassett actually play her. Okay, so this is apparently Marie Laveau. Angela Bassett played her in a American Horror Story, that scary series, whatever. But she was an herbalist and midwife. This is kind of more, these pictures are more appropriate of what she looks like right here, the ones moving. This picture here actually looks more like the picture from, what's her name? Um, Angela Bassett playing her. But she was born on September the 10th, 1801 in Nolens. She died in 1881. She was 79 years old. Um, as you can see here, Angela Bassett had actually played her again in American Horror Story. When we come here and look at who she is, just so y'all can understand the significance of her house burning down. Okay. Um, she is or was rather, a Louisiana Creole practitioner of voodoo. Y'all got to understand this. And she was an herbalist as well as a midwife who was renowned in Nolens. Listen, y'all, this woman had rank, she had respect, she had power. She commanded and told politicians what to do, what to vote on, what to do. Like, everybody went to her. They went to her for healing. Um, there were people, like a lot of the innocent people there, they came to her and she took care of them. But if you crossed her, if you were somebody that was doing wicked, she put it on you. She literally put that voodoo on you. And she took a lot of people down, a lot of people out, et cetera, et cetera. And again, it's people that was doing wickedness. Now, that's the history on it. Y'all can get into what you believe, what you don't believe. But again, I'm just giving y'all the history here. See, we got to understand the history about these places. A lot of people hear things about, oh, this spiritual place here, this and that, but y'all know nothing about the history and why it even got that particular title. So anyway, she had a daughter, which was Marie Laveau II, in 1827, who lived to 1862. She also practiced root work, conjure, and a Native American and African spiritualism, as well as Louisiana voodoo and traditional Roman Catholicism. So you have a lot of people with this. And what I want to say and what I'm trying to teach y'all is that you have a lot of people that be in the church. You got Hebrew Israelites. Okay, you got Hebrew Israelites. You got Christians. You got Catholics who they go by those titles. You see them in church or maybe not in church, or they reference scriptures. They talking about this, but then they practice a lot of this particular work. Okay. But anyway, she was somebody that was very big, very well known, right? She was a midwife, nurse, herbalist. She was somebody very big in New Orleans, very big. So when I'm showing you this, and I'm gonna switch to her house now, this is huge because this is one of the main attractions when you go to New Orleans. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's play this and talk about this. All right.
What happened?
Uh, the batteries to my pedicab exploded.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so all we could do was get out. Like,
Now, how is it that all of a sudden her batteries just exploded? Y'all got to think about that. Why is it that all of a sudden her batteries just happen to explode on this particular time? When Annabelle pulls up, all of a sudden her batteries explode. But all these years, all the time this house has been here, been a big tourist attraction in the French Quarters, year after year after year, you don't call this sin chaos? Anyway, man, let's go ahead. Let's run it back. Let's let it go.
What happened?
the batteries to my pedicab exploded.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so all we could do was get out. Like, you're starting to think, let me throw something on it. Let me get the fire hydrant under the sink.
Oh, whoa.
I know. Well, because they came, the fire department. Look, this was my Rex print.
Oh my God,
I know.
no.
Yeah. But look at all the other stuff, too. Look at the windows. That whole thing melted off, that whole artwork on the window. Even in here, all the windows are cracked. Some of them blew out. It's so weird how it's random. So random.
What happened?
Did you hear what she just said?
It's so weird how it's random. So random. It's so weird how it's random. So random. It's so weird how it's random. So random.
Listen, y'all. This wasn't random. Listen, y'all. This was not random. Look at what was it? Count Frankenwolf here. in the comment section said, didn't the voodoo lady challenge Annabelle in the name of New Orleans voodoo? It's a huge historical loss. See, I didn't even know anything about this. See, there's a lot of stuff going on, and look at what happened. She might have been a practitioner. She might have been doing this, but check this out. Marie Laveau wasn't actually a damn demon. When it said with Annabelle, this is actually a demon. I believe either a high-ranking demon or the devil itself. And this is why you have, what's that thing called? Volok or whatever. That's the name of the demon from the Nun series. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know about the Nun series. Look, if y'all hadn't seen the Nun 2, let me see if I can pull up a image. That junk crazy in the mug. This thing right here. Let's go full screen so y'all can see it clear. This thing, like all of this stuff, that the demon's name is Volok or whatever they said. All of this stuff right here is said to be in connection perhaps with Annabelle, because you got the Nun, you got the Conjuring, you got Annabelle, like that whole story. There's like actual truth to this stuff. Like this, y'all gotta understand. It might be some fictitious scenes and artwork and Hollywood, but the storylines in this is essentially true. That's what make this crazy, y'all. This is crazy. It's crazy, man. But anyway, it's just wild. Like, anyway, let me get back to so Marie Laveau. This is like the breaking news. Ain't nobody. Yeah, Julian is right. Extremely demonic. 100. And again, when we go back to the scripture here in Second Corinthians, these are the things that we're not supposed to touch. Now, the reason why I'm even showing this to y'all is because I'm educating y'all on this. You like saying, and I ain't no punk. You got a lot of people. Let me just break this down. You got a lot of people that are scared. See, all they teach you, stay away, stay away, stay away. But they don't educate you on what to stay away from. For example, when we're children, right? And we have our parents tell us why not to touch the stove. They just don't tell you, little Johnny, little Susie, don't touch the stove. They tell you why not to touch the stove, right? They tell you because it's hot. And they explain what happens if you touch the stove, it's hot, maybe water or something boil on there can fall on you, it can burn you, it can cause, like, you get explanations, right? You get an education lesson. What I'm doing right now is giving y'all an education lesson on why this is sin chaos and how crazy this stuff is. So all of a sudden, since Annabelle pulled up, you got this guy, like I said here, Count Frank and Wolf. I didn't even know about this. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let me see if what this guy is saying. I don't know anything about this. This guy, like, a lot of times people be knowing stuff about this. Um, Well, let's just check this out. I don't know anything about it, but let's just look at this on the screen. Okay, right here, we'll go full screen so y'all can read it. It says, while there's no evidence or documented accounts of a voodoo lady directly challenging or interacting with the Annabelle doll, there's an interesting connection between voodoo and the Annabelle doll story through the Warrens. Remember, Ed and Elizabeth Warren are no longer alive. But they said it's an interesting connection. Let me see if what they say. Ed and Lorraine Warren, let's see, the famous paranormal investigators who investigated the Annabelle doll case were also known to be involved in cases related to voodoo and demonic activity. It says some sources suggest the Warrens encountered voodoo practices and beliefs while investigating paranormal phenomena, potentially influencing their understanding of the Annabelle case. Wow. Let's read this one other thing because this is interesting. It gives you more insight. It says here with number 2, it says the Warrens concluded that the Annabelle doll was not possessed by a human spirit. Let me repeat this again. The Annabelle doll was not possessed by a human spirit. This is not a human doing this. This is straight up sin chaos to its finest because it's a demon. Might be the devil, his or herself, or whatever itself. But it says that it wasn't possessed by a human spirit, but by a demonic entity. Y'all know people in social media like use the word these entities, which they believe could be influenced or manipulated by darker spiritual practices like voodoo. So they believe that, what's up, Shaquita? It's good to see you in the building. So they actually believe that this Annabelle doll, this entity, this demonic entity, could actually be influenced by voodoo. And one thing about the voodoo practices, they would summon certain spirits. They would call on this and do things that would call on certain spirits. So, this whole thing is crazy, man. And the fact that Marie Laveau, like, let me show y'all something real quick. Let me see if I can find something here. Um, let me just show y'all this about Marie Laveau, because for her house to catch on fire with this is wild, man. This is straight up wild. It says Marie Laveau, known as the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans, was a prominent figure in New Orleans history, particularly for her role as a voodoo priestess and spiritual healer. She is considered one of the most influential women in New Orleans, and her legacy continues to this day. And she was a sister. She was a black woman. It says that Marie Laveau was a free woman of color. Mind you, she was free back in the 1800s. Y'all got to stop and think about this. We hear all this talk about slavery. We hear all this talk about this. She was a free woman of color. How the hell was she a free woman of color? What kind of power did she have? Y'all got to stop and think about this. How would she be able to tell white folks what the hell to do back in that time? That got to be a bad mamma jamma. That got to be a powerful black woman. I'm giving you this information so you can understand how powerful she was, literally in an economic sense, in a historic sense, as well as in a voodoo or spiritual sense. So for her house to catch on fire after all this time with all the so-called spells, all the spirits, all the rituals, all the people, a lot of people that engage in voodoo, they engage in tarot, they engage in all this new age practices, they tap into Marie Laveau. Come on now, I'm giving y'all the game. Like these other content creators, they're not versed in this stuff, nor have they ever walked that life. Y'all know I used to be about that life back in the day, and I repented of all of that stuff. I know all about this stuff. Been there and done that. I done been to Marie Laveau's house. I done seen her house in the French quarters. I done been there. I know. A lot of people just bumping their gums. I literally walked the walk. So anyway, it says that she was a free woman of color who rose to prominence as a voodoo priestess, leading religious ceremonies and offering consultations to people of all social classes. So like I was saying, she helped a lot of the poor people. People needed a way. They was trying to eat. They was trying to do. She looked after a lot of people. She took care of them. She didn't hurt the poor. But like I said, if you think you had money, you think you was powerful, you was leaning to corruption, if she decided to, she put one on you. So it says that she was known for her ability to connect with both the enslaved and free. Like I said, this was a free black woman back in that time. She's supposed to have been a slave. Come on, man. So she was known for her ability to connect with both the enslaved and free, as well as with various groups, including white and black communities. So y'all got to understand how powerful this woman was. So for her house to catch on fire, Annabelle ain't no joke. It says her voodoo practices blended elements from African, Haitian, Catholic, and Creole traditions, creating a unique spiritual tapestry that influenced many in the New Orleans. She was also a businesswoman beyond her spiritual role. She was a shrewd businesswoman, charging for consultations and services. Hold on a second. I don't know if that's somebody here at my door. Let me just check this out real quick while I'm looking at this. Oh, I think it's just some guy trying to this is a guy trying to probably sell some dang alarms. You know y'all know how them people be coming through and they be trying to sell like like services and stuff. When you already got everything, they be trying to get you to jump on a service. That's what it looked like. But anyway, it says her legacy and myth is enduring with her tomb in St. Louis Cemetery. Number one, still attracting visitors seeking her blessings and leaving offerings. It says that her continued significance extends beyond her lifetime, with her name and image appearing in various cultural contexts and her followers continuing to practice voodoo. So she still got people from back then following her, practicing her. That's how powerful this woman was. It's like she lived beyond the grave. So for her house to catch on fire after all this time, man, I'm telling you, this is crazy. Let's get to some more video content here. Let's take a look at this, man. This is the actual doll. This is the actual Annabelle doll, like the real doll, not the movie. Like I said, you can see the devil major arcana tarot card on there, letting you know this is the devil. If you don't know what tarot is, you don't understand. If you can read English, you can see that card says the devil, and it looked like the devil. And it says, warning, positively do not open. So let's go ahead and look at this particular video here. Let me make sure the sound is, let me peek gain. Okay, I don't know what the sound, because it got some creepy sound effects, but I don't want that to come through. This is from that guy who's doing the tour. This is Annabelle in San Antonio. This is Annabelle in this house in San Antonio. They done pulled up in San Antonio. And that's what I want y'all to see. So Annabelle's in that crib. Notice how the house here, these old homes look similar to like the Nottoway Plantation. Y'all notice that? Y'all see that, right? Look at all this stuff that's going on, man. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Let's see. Let's look at this. Let's look at this real quick first. So right here, this is where you're gonna see that I believe
Annabelle's in San Antonio.
Your name, Lord, I bind all of the objects in this museum so that none may touch, attack, or go home with any of the people today. In your holy name, we ask your divine Holy Spirit to shed his light upon us. In the name of the Holy Virgin and Saint Joseph, the terror of demons, we pray this in the name of Christ.
That was a priest named Father Bob performing a binding ritual, a traditional prayer of protection used in the Catholic Church. Why? Because he's on tour with the haunted Annabelle doll. But binding prayers don't actually trap spirits like they do in the movies. They're actually a way to call on divine protection and prevent any spiritual interferences. Religious experts often use these rituals before entering a place with known paranormal activity, especially when they're interacting with environments or objects that are known to be spiritually charged. These rituals usually include scripture readings, prayers invoking saints or angels, and sacramentals like holy water or blessed salt. It's about spiritual safety and respect for unseen realities that...
I want to comment on something real quick. You notice how she said it was a ritual, right? Everything we do is a ritual. When you set your alarm clock to wake up every day to go to work or go to school or start your day, that's a ritual. When you brush your teeth at night or in the morning, guess what? That's a ritual. The path that you take to get to work or get somewhere that you do daily, that's a ritual. See, a lot of people hear ritual and they think automatically evil, but they don't understand spirituality. So that's why in Catholicism, it's a ritual. He said a prayer, this priest said a prayer before dealing with this thing. The holy water, y'all understand this is Catholicism. But nonetheless, I got to say one thing about Catholics, they bought it. They bought it. Because you know what? They the only ones that actually go in for the most part and be casting these demons out. So you got Christians talking about, they be reading scripture. Oh, Christ, he spoke to Legion and cast out these demons. But a lot of folks be coward. How many of y'all actually be going around casting out demons and people? I mean, I've done it. I've literally done it. Y'all think I'm playing? I've done these things before. I've dealt with these things. I've faced these demons and stared them down, not in my own might, but in the Father's might. This is real talk. This is real spit. They bought it. You got a lot of Hebrew Israelites on the internet that made videos and making videos and be live talking about they warriors of of God and warriors of the Most High, but yet they cowards when it comes to seeing that certain people get delivered from certain spirits. That's one thing that I respect about the Catholic community, because they got a whole community where they got a chain of command. They'll actually go in, perform exorcisms, and do this stuff. You don't see this being done in these other faiths. Everybody walking around like they just super tough, chest out on swole, acting like they could just knock anybody out and do all of this. But yet, when it comes to actually confronting these things in the name of Christ, in the name of the Most High, in the name of the Holy Scriptures, they run from it. They shy. You know what I'm saying? Because these things are out here. These things are out here, and we can cast these things out. We can cast this sin out. See, that's why I'm bringing this to y'all knowledge so y'all can understand this is what's going on. This is how this stuff works, and we can cast this stuff out. But it's interesting that she called it a ritual, and I don't know if y'all caught that. But anyway, let me run this back a little bit.
These rituals usually include scripture readings, objects that are known to be spiritually charged. These rituals usually include scripture readings charged. These rituals usually include scripture readings charged. These rituals usually include scripture readings, prayers invoking saints or angels, and sacramentals like holy water or blessed salt. It's about spiritual safety and respect for unseen realities that many faith traditions take seriously. Annabelle's in San Antonio.
So, I mean, like I said, this is the Catholic faith. I know a lot of y'all, oh, we don't use holy water. We don't use salt. We don't call on angels. Look, again, like I said, this is the Catholic faith. But like I said, respect to the Catholic faith, because they bought it. They jump in and get it. You know what I'm saying? They jump in and get it. That's what's up, Medusa. I'm glad it's somebody getting a notification around here. Because it seems like when I cover and I do these topics, people don't ever get notifications. Anyway, let's go into this particular video here. This is where old dude is in San Antonio, and I guess this is the actual like event or behind the scenes of the event. So we're gonna actually take a look, and I'm showing y'all this because I want y'all to understand this. Listen, y'all, anytime you go into you're explaining things and you're showing things from an educational perspective, with the right type of knowledge, the right type of understanding, the right type of precautions, et cetera, these things are safe because we're showing you this in an education perspective. This is teaching, this is knowledge, this is wisdom. A lot of people watching me right now have never heard of Annabelle. They never heard of Marie Laveau. They never heard of all this stuff. They never understood these things, right? You can't assume that people understand these things. So what I have just done is educated all of the people watching this live right now, whether they know about it or not. Now they know. And now they can make a choice on what to do, what not to do, how to avoid this. Maybe they could be dealing with a similar situation or have some other people. Maybe some of the people watching my live actually from the French Quarters. They might be from Nolens. You see what I'm saying? They might be living there dealing with some crazy energy. They might be in San Antonio. They might have been in West Virginia, wherever Annabelle pulled up. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to give y'all the game right here. And y'all ain't going to get this content hardly anywhere. Nowhere else right now has anybody talked about the inmates escaping the parish in New Orleans, the Nottoway Plantation catching on fire, Marie Laveau house catching on fire. Because like nobody even know that Marie Laveau's house catching on fire for the most part, besides the locals. Like these content creators ain't even watch. All of a sudden now they're gonna start talking about Marie Laveau's house caught on fire, her house caught on fire. I think there's like maybe one other lady I saw who actually talked about this, but nobody knows about this stuff, right? And nobody sees the significance. Y'all just be like, whatever, it's just another damn house in the French Quarter catching on fire. What this got to do anything, brainwaves? What you talking about, brain? I don't know what you're talking about, man. This ain't nothing significant. No, this is very significant. This is sin chaos. Ever since Ed and Lorraine said to not touch an unclean thing, they said, do not move this doll. But yet this guy is up here saying that their wishes that they would want you to move the doll and that they moved the doll when they was going around. That don't make sense. Why would they say don't move the doll and they locked it up? Even the movies show that, right? Even the script and the movies talk about that. But now they trying to say that the guy, this is crazy, man. You know, perhaps, excuse me, perhaps Ed and Lorraine might have moved this doll prior to it ramping up, prior to certain things happening. And so they learned you don't need to move the doll, you don't need to touch it, but yet this guy is moving it. And the guy that's moving it is this guy right here. that you can see with the like white shirt underneath, and it's kind of like bluish shirt with the khakis on. This is that guy that we've been looking at. That what's his name? That Ryan Daniel Boyle or whatever guy. Like this guy. This is the guy that we've been looking at him, right? And this is the guy right here. So let's take a look at this. Let's watch this because this gives us some insight into what's going on, and we can understand these things. You got to understand what's going on to understand what you're dealing with. All right, so let's go ahead and do just that. Let's go.
If we dare, this weekend is the Psychic and Spirit Fest, and they've got one of the most notoriously haunted objects in the world on display. Joining me right now to tell us more is Dan Rivera from the New England Society of Psychic Research and Ryan Buell from the show Paranormal State. Okay, guys, the true story where Annabelle...
Oh, that's right. That's the dude from the T. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's why he looked familiar. Um, Let me see if I can find this. It's this guy. I guess it must be this guy here. Yeah, this is it. So that's why he looked familiar. I done seen that ad or something like that when you be flipping through the channels or seen it. So this is the guy right here that with the what you call it, the TikTok channel. I guess this is him. Yeah, this is him right here. I guess he got books and stuff, but this is the guy. Um, yeah, that's him. That's the guy. So I guess he been, well, hell, he been on TV all this time. I mean, I guess I understand maybe why he's the one, because I guess he been going around investigating this stuff, doing all of this. So he must be the guy. I don't know. But anyway, this is the guy. Let's go watch the video. I'm gonna run it back, but that's him.
Up close, if we dare, this weekend is the Psychic and Spirit Fest, and they've got one of the most notoriously haunted objects in the world on display. Joining me right now to tell us more is Dan Rivera from the New England Society of Psychic Research and Ryan Buell from the show Paranormal State. Okay, guys, the true story where Annabelle came from is similar to what we see in the Conjuring movie, right?
Absolutely. You know, the makers of the Conjuring movie did the doll, the backstory of Annabelle, justice, where it was two nurses who were experiencing a haunting. They brought in a psychic, thought it was a little girl. They invited her to stay. They got her a doll, a Raggedy Ann doll, as like a gift. And then it wreaked havoc.
And that's one thing that's different from the doll we see in the movie, right?
Yeah, it's different because, you know, the Raggedy Ann doll is copyrighted. So when Warner Brothers went to Mattel and said, hey, can we use your doll for a horror movie? They were like, no.
So do y'all understand? That's why when you see the Annabelle movies, the doll looks totally different than the Raggedy Ann doll. That's why if you go look at the movie, you go like, why does the doll look completely different from the one that's locked up there? Again, copyright reasons. Same thing we did with on YouTube. Let's go.
Yes. Okay, so are we safe here with the doll?
Now listen to what she just asked. She asked, are we safe here with the doll? And I want y'all to pay attention. She just said, are we safe here with the doll? I want you to listen to the response. Pay close attention, y'all.
Okay, so are we safe here with the doll?
As safe as one can be, right? I mean, we are taking precautions, okay? The case is blessed. Everything about it is intentional. We have a Roman Catholic priest that's been traveling with us and will be present at all times. And as long as no one does anything stupid or provokes, then everyone should be fine. We're here on standby.
You know, so he said, as long as no one does anything stupid or provokes. Now, let me ask you, just like that example that I gave you where there was a guy who said he didn't believe in this stuff. He said, show me that this is real. And he went knocking on the actual glass. I guess that's a form of provoking. Plus, he also touched literally an unclean thing. And that guy later died in a motorcycle accident went on his way home from leaving the tour in Connecticut. And his girlfriend was in the hospital for over a year. She didn't even do nothing. She was just with the boyfriend. Right? How many people you think going to do something stupid to provoke it? Because that's what people do. They do dumb things. Why? Because they do things out of sin. This is crazy, man. Let's go.
By two,
Let me run that
holy
part back.
water, holy oil. We have a Roman Catholic priest that's been traveling with us and will be present at all times. And as long as no one does anything stupid or provokes, everyone should be fine. We're here on standby too, with holy water, holy oil. I mean, we take this very seriously.
I mean, you even have holy water for us before we leave, right? And I'm all about that. And I think everybody over here is nodding as well. Okay, so is it true that the doll has been caught moving on camera?
I can't speak to that per se, but people have had a lot of experiences with the doll. I know we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Okay. And Dan, you have a story too, right?
Yeah, the first time when I pulled this case and moved Annabelle into it, we had an event that evening. When we were returning her back to the museum, there was a St. Michael pendant on that case on the lock. And once we entered into the museum, that pendant flew off the case and flew across the room. I thought that was very strange, but it caught me off guard. Maybe that was Annabelle saying I didn't want to be in that case.
Okay, and of course, as you mentioned, it is blessed on the regular by a priest, right? That also travels with the doll. Is it true that the doll once caused a fatal motorcycle accident after someone mocked her?
Yes, there was a gentleman that came into the museum when Ed was giving the tours, and he came in and he knocked on the glass and says, "If you're real, put scratches on me." Ed saw that and told the gentleman, you have to leave the museum, and you don't do that. I told you not to do that. The gentleman and his girlfriend went off on a motorcycle back to where they came from, and they never made it home. They got into a motorcycle accident, and the gentleman perished, and the girlfriend survived.
Wow, okay.
Y'all hear this? So the doll being moved, all right, etc. We'll see you a little bit later. So the doll moved, right? And or they was moving the doll rather, and then the was it the saint pendant or whatever, the Catholic pendant that's supposed to be on the outside of the case to bless it, that flew off. The guy just said that's Annabelle saying, like, hey, I guess like don't want to be up there. And then also you have the situation like I was telling y'all about the motorcycle. That's a real story. I want you to see these are real occurrences, right? This is the type of sin chaos that be taking place. And people be fooling with this stuff. Listen, y'all, you got YouTubers right now on social media who acting like they righteous, acting like they in the scriptures, acting like they in the truth. But when the cameras go off, behind closed doors, they be doing spells, they be doing rituals, they summon demons, they send stuff your way, send stuff my way. They be trying to do stuff. Of course, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. But I'm just saying, they involved in this stuff. They be sitting up there doing astral projection. They send summoning spirits. They doing stuff spiritually, trying to do all types of crap and manipulate and destroy and take and feed off of and drain. Man, this is crazy. So this stuff is, I mean, me personally, my experiences on both sides of the coin, this stuff is every bit real. Y'all can sit up here and be like, this stuff is not real. I know it's real. I've had occurrences. I've helped people deal with these things. I've helped people with their homes. They dealing with spiritual activity in their homes. Man, y'all don't understand. People go to places of work. They just getting a job. They going to work. And then they having weird, crazy, demonic stuff like this taking place. This stuff is real, man. This ain't no joke. But anyway, man, let's go.
Is it true that the Annabelle doll once wrote notes saying, "Help me"?
Yes, on parchment paper. So when the nurses had the doll, when they would come home from work, they would see these pieces of parchment paper written in crayon saying "help me" on it. So that's when the activity started happening in the house. And they had to call the warrant. Well, actually, they called the priest first, and then the priest says, well, I don't know much about this. I know somebody that is involved with these haunted objects, and they gave them the information of Ed and Lorraine Warren to come in and help them with that case.
Now, you notice that I can't help the guy's voice being low. I don't know why the volume's so low, but there's a microphone there. What he said was that the priest had actually referred them to a paranormal investigator because the priest was not familiar with those things. Listen, y'all, you got to have, just like we go to doctors, we go to specialists, right? How many times does your primary care physician refer you to a specialist because they're not familiar with something? That's what these paranormal investigators are, to confirm, yes, this is something paranormal. Because sometimes you could be thinking it's something paranormal and it's not. It could be something mental. It could be people playing games, manipulating. It could be a whole lot of things, right? These people confirm, in fact, it's something paranormal so that you can get the right help. Then, because it's confirmed and you know what it is, just like I said, the priest came, blessed the house, did this, did that, then you can proceed accordingly. But these are very real occurrences. Let's go back with the video. Let's see if we can hear what he say.
Okay, and so this venue can really get a lot of people into the spirit of things at the event, Spirit Fest, happening this weekend, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're into the paranormal, if you're curious about the paranormal, Psychic Fest is a great place to come. And the Black Swan Inn is actually very haunted itself. Very active. I've investigated at least almost a dozen times already.
What are some things that folks can look forward to at this event?
Well, I mean, one of the biggest things, I mean, aside from the fact that we have psychics, vendors, speakers, it's very diverse. You get to meet the community around South Texas that is into the paranormal, that researches the paranormal. And then, of course, if you have experiences, have had an experience, you know, there can be some judgment there, right? Out in the outside world. But here at this event, you're around like-minded people, right? We're not here to judge. We're very open to this.
No.
And I want to say something about what he said. When it comes to people, right? Some of y'all have had experiences. Some of y'all have had experiences with the paranormal. Y'all have either had experiences, y'all seen stuff, heard stuff, stuff you can't explain, right? And guess what? The outside world, like he said, they would judge you. Doesn't the Bible say, judge, lest not ye be judged? So why is it that people be judging people that had experiences like this? And all they're doing is seeking clarity, seeking help. I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do? You like, okay, I don't understand this. I had this happen. What's going on? But then they judge you. They judge you for you sharing your experiences. Isn't that crazy? You got to love social media, man. I'm saying it sarcastically. You got to love social media and the people on it. They'll judge you for sharing your experiences. But anyway, let's go.
Pre-sale tickets are sold out, but there is still a chance for folks to be able to get in, right?
The Curious Twins are offering 100 tickets at the door. First come, first serve. So get here early.
Okay, and it's even been, Sunday has even been added, right, for just seeing Annabelle, right?
Yeah, we know that the demand to see Annabelle is so high because this is the furthest she's ever come. So we did add Sunday. Again, that has pre-sales have sold out, but there are going to be 100 tickets at the gate.
Okay, anything else people need to know if they come out to Psychic and Spirit Fest, and if they do, go face-to-face with Annabelle?
So we just say, be respectful, do not provoke. We take this very seriously, right? So we just say, be respectful, do not provoke. We take this very seriously, right? So as long as you show respect, Annabelle will give you respect.
And
Did you hear what he just said? So check this out. He just said, as long as you show respect, Annabelle will show respect. You know what the problem is? People in sin don't know how to move with respect. Let me just break this down. People that's in sin don't know how to move with respect. They disrespect land. They disrespect property. They disrespect everything. Like the guy on the motorcycle that got unalive, right? He went knocking on there, right? He went knocking on there, and that's what happened. He disrespected the whole box, the Annabelle, the place. You know, this is what happens. And what I'm teaching y'all is this goes beyond spirits, right? If you disrespect somebody, then when you receive a clap back, don't be surprised. Or you disrespect somebody's property. You disrespect somebody's woman, right? Somebody, a man, he got his wife or whatever, and you trying to be disrespectful to her. Or you trying to sit up there and sleep with her, and that's another man's wife, and you know about it. You being disrespectful, right? So when you receive that clap back, hey, the same thing work with this spiritual stuff. Now, ain't nobody advocating none of this spiritual stuff. I'm not telling anybody to go anywhere. I'm not telling anybody to fool with any of this. What I'm trying to do is I'm using this as a teachable moment, right? And I want y'all to understand that it's this sin chaos around this particular doll. And not only is it around that doll, but what you're seeing is sin chaos take place in this world. I'm going to be talking about some other things that's coming up where you're going to find instances of sin chaos and why certain things are taking place. But right now, we're just talking about this because a lot of these biblical, righteous, whatever content creators, they are afraid to talk about this stuff. They are afraid to go there. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. You know, they're scared. They're scared of what people are going to say. They're scared somebody going to take this and try. Look, y'all do what y'all going to do. Y'all demons run around. Y'all the damn demons. If anybody need to be quote unquote afraid, I'm not saying to be afraid, but if anybody need to be quote unquote afraid, it's being afraid of y'all. Because y'all the damn demons that be making content, twisting stuff, lying, using AI, trying to say this and say that, and ain't none of that stuff true. That does far more damage most of the time than any of these situations here. Ain't that crazy? And then the crazy thing is you don't be disrespecting them, but they disrespect you. That's exactly what this guy was talking about. And I'm just using it as a teachable moment. Because I know y'all may not come out in the comments and say anything because some of y'all scared to comment. Some of y'all afraid of the judgment. I get it. I understand. But y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all feeling me because y'all still here watching me. Y'all still here watching me. So y'all feeling me. Come on now. I already know what it is. So anyway, let me finish this particular video here. Let's go.
Please do not touch anything.
Don't worry, we're not. We're not. Okay, so don't forget, Psychic and Spirit Fest 2025 is happening tomorrow from 4 to 11 p.m. at Victoria's Black Swan Inn, and Sunday 11 to 3 p.m. just for the Warren Occult Museum, which includes Annabelle, but both days, remember, a limited number of gate tickets, 100, right? Okay, for more information, just head to our website, salive.com, and click on the Ask
Oh, okay, so I guess that's it. All right.
Live tab. Okay, I am about to
All right, so that's it with that. And then look, this is the Texas. This is the Texas Annabelle. Look, you see what people saying here, right? Because all of a sudden it's fires. See how the fires? Y'all see that, right? It'd be strange occurrences like that that all of a sudden took place because Annabelle pulled up. It's been other things that I've documented, but a lot of people doubt it. What's up, Zandra? Zandra says, what happened when he was away from the computer? I pretty much just went into more detail and played what's going on. Right? I pretty much just played like bits and pieces into what they was doing. Yeah, and I agree with Ryan. I agree with Ryan like 100. Listen, y'all, this doll should not be moved around like this. Because listen, when you take people, it's just like people, right? You go to certain areas, certain like you could go to a certain town, right? Or a certain city, a certain location, you feel disrespected, like you don't like being there, you just don't like the vibe, it just don't sit with you. It could be the same thing with this demon, with this doll, and then they moving this doll from here to here to here. Like, this is crazy, man. Like, this is straight up crazy. And I agree, you're not supposed to be moving it. The doll should just be staying there. Hold on, let me see something. Let me see something. And see, while I'm trying to look this up real quick, one of the things, I'll go ahead and get some music going because we ain't really playing. One of the things y'all got to understand is that some people say, well, why don't you just burn the doll? Burn it. Get rid of the doll, burn it. I guess while we playing this, I could play I could play something else more related to the doll or whatever. I don't know. I'll just have something like that going in the background so y'all can see. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Just change it up more related to the doll. But some people would say, why don't you just burn the doll? Why don't you just do that? You can't just burn dolls like that because it's such a demonic, it's a demon that's attached to it. So if you burn the doll, for instance, and try to destroy that demon could just be free to just run rampant. So because of that demon's attachment to the doll, it's better to keep the doll contained than trying to get rid of the doll. Y'all, it's this thing is deep, man. It's deep. But yeah, they I'm trying to see if I can find something real quick. In a timely fashion here. Like, look at this. We'll pull this up real quick. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Let me get this on the screen right here. This is some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Hold on. So many ads, man. Hey, listen, y'all gonna have to just disregard the ads, man. Just disregard the ads. Once I get this site pulled up. It seems like when you try to pull stuff up, it'd be everything in it, whatever. So anyway, let's look at this, y'all, because what this says is that, like Ryan's saying, we shouldn't even be moving the doll, right? It says the Annabelle doll sparks panic as she goes on tour, despite paranormal experts saying she should never, I repeat, never be moved. And like we saw in 2 Corinthians, we should not be touching the unclean thing. Every time you move this doll, this demon, you're touching the demon. You're making contact with it. I don't care if you throw something over it, you put it in a truck, you're making contact with it. This thing should not be moved unless it's an absolute emergency. Like, I don't know, something happened to the museum and they got to secure the doll or something like this. This doll should not be going on tour. But anyway, as we kind of go down here, and I guess it's supposed to be, again, y'all got to disregard the ads, man. There's supposed to be another Annabelle sequel that's set to be released this year. Hold on, man, these pop-ups are getting on my nerves, man. Hold on, let's see what this. I'm trying to see if it says something about the sequel. I don't know. This is something. I don't know if this is actually the sequel. Hold on, y'all. Let me look at this. It's talking about a sequel's coming. Let me try to look this up real quick. Because, you know, I don't be following this stuff. So I don't be knowing all these details. But let's just take a look at it. I'm trying to see if there actually is. Oh, so yeah, there is an Annabelle sequel coming. It says it's titled Annabelle 4 Silent Fear. It's scheduled to be released sometime this year. They said the official trailer. Oh, its official trailer's already been released. And the film is expected to be a part of the Conjuring universe, according to Warner Brothers. So I don't know when it's coming out, but I guess there is an official movie. I think they're moving this doll around as more promotions for this movie. But back from here, I want to see where it says. Look, here it is. It says, yet the infamous doll's movements have people online up in arms following the warnings from the Warrens to never move Annabelle. They said never move it. That's crazy, man. So this is Ed and Lorraine right here. This is Ed and this is Lorraine. This is a picture of what they look like. So at least I'm glad I got that on during the show so y'all can see what it looks like. This is Ed and this is Lorraine. What up, Selena? What's going on? Y'all make sure y'all sub up Selena. Okay, so they back in the day, they the one who investigated the doll. This is the guy right here, Ryan Daniel Boyle. He's the one that's, I guess, been on that TV show Paranormal State that I showed earlier, and I guess he's the one that's going around with the Annabelle doll. And this is what the actual Annabelle doll looks like from the movie, because they couldn't use the Raggedy Ann doll because of copyright reasons, so they had to come up with another doll. But this is how it looks in the actual movies and stuff. Man, I don't think they should be transporting this thing. And like I said, there it goes. There's the Devil Tarot card. Major Arcana. This is wild, man. This is wild, man. Touch not an unclean thing. I think in the series, what happens is this is a shot from the actual movie right here. And what happened is, I think one of the girls, she saw that and said, don't open, but her dumb ass ended up opening the thing. Of course, she had to go open it or we wouldn't have a movie. You see what I'm saying? If she didn't go open it, we wouldn't have sequels and movies and stuff like that. So, of course, she had to go open it. She had to break scripture and touch an unclean thing when the Bible says to not touch an unclean thing. And she knew it was unclean, but she was obsessed with getting into that room, even though it was locked up and doing that. I don't know, man. Maybe that's how them demons work. They call you, yeah, release me, touch me, do this. I'm telling you, man, this stuff is crazy. That's what happens sometimes when we touch unclean things. Look, it says Buell then shared videos of the doll in the penitentiary, infuriating users online who echoed the Warrens' warning not to move her. Lorraine said not to move her. The Warrens said not to move her, one wrote. Another said, Tony should be ashamed of himself because I know he's a part of it. Ed and Lorraine said no matter what happens to them, meaning Ed and Lorraine are no longer around. They said no matter what happens to them, Annabelle does not leave the museum. So why the hell is Annabelle leaving the museum? This is sin chaos at its finest. And you know, listen, it says Tony has gone against it numerous times for the money. Listen, he moving this doll around so he can get paid. See, that's sin in itself. You either follow God or money, and he's following the money. He's getting paid. Hey, y'all, listen. You don't think he's getting paid for moving this doll around? This man making big bucks. Y'all just heard it say, and you heard him say, the tickets were selling out. They had to add an extra day. These tickets are selling out like crazy. It's one thing if you went to the museum in Connecticut to go see Annabelle. I'm not saying you go see her anyway. I'm not advocating. I'm not pushing it. I'm just saying, I'm making a point here. It's one thing if you went to where she was at, where she was locked up at. But now she moving around coming to you, and you wonder why we got all this craziness. That's why New Orleans got them inmates most likely escape. You see what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. It'd be a lot of crazy energy that be lining up. Those inmates escaped during a full moon. We had a full moon on May 12th. All of a sudden, those inmates escaped. All of a sudden, Nottoway Plantation catch on fire. All of a sudden, Marie Laveau's house catch on fire, which her house supposed to be spiritually protected with her spells and witchcraft and, you know, all the stuff that they do, the voodoo or whatever you want to call it, right? Her crib's supposed to be protected. Ain't nothing ever happened to her crib. People wanted to do this. People wanted to do that. Her crib was safe in the French Quarters, untouchable. All of a sudden, it just went down. Then you got these occurrences in San Antonio, stuff catching on fire, weird stuff. You had the weird stuff in West Virginia. Everywhere they taking this doll on tour, crazy stuff happening. Why? Because she ain't supposed. It's like you're letting the demon out just to get a check. But what I'm telling you is that this is how people operate. This is what people do. People be in sin chaos. They'll conjure up stuff. They'll attack you. They'll do this. They'll talk about you. They'll lie on your name. They'll create stuff. They create chaos. They'll try to get you and your man set up for you ladies. Get you and your woman set up for you fellas. They'll try to get you fired from the job. They go around behind the scene. They gang stalk. They do all this stuff. They'll call and get people to do spells and summon demons to do stuff. Why? Because they getting paid off of it. Either those demons are rewarding them or they get off on seeing you hurt, seeing you fall. This is sin chaos at its finest. Yeah, Zandria's right. Look, y'all heard the saying, all money ain't good money. That's what this is right here, man. All money ain't good money. It's not. Zandria says that's demonic money. That ain't no good right there. Yeah, man, this not good. And then you got a bunch of people that's going to come there, potentially engage in sin. Listen, y'all know it be stupid people. People be there trying to do stupid stuff. They was told not to do it, but you know what people do. People bring spirits. They bring stuff. It's like, I'm going to call my spirits that's around me to go knock at Annabelle or try to make something. I'm telling you, man, this stuff is wild. This is why sometimes you got to watch out for certain people in your life. Right? You got to get away from certain people. You can't be around certain people. You just can't. You can't be around certain people. You can't do certain things because this type of stuff they're doing. And this is why I'm showing you that. And I'm showing you the repercussions. This stuff really wreaks havoc. It's sin chaos. And what's happening right now in the world is you seeing sin chaos. You seen it from the Diddy cases. You seen it from all the trials, all the celebrities. It's nothing but sin. All this stuff that's popping off, all the latest stories, it's nothing but sin chaos. I don't know what else to tell y'all. But look, I broke this thing down probably better than almost anybody on here. I told y'all about Marie Laveau's house that has also caught on fire. We're going to see what else takes place. If there's some other strange stuff that hits these other cities where this is going, I'm going to bring all of it. I'm going to break it down. Because then we're going to have it documented. Everywhere Annabelle went, everywhere Annabelle pulled up, straight chaos. And it's about to be a new Annabelle movie called Silent Fear that's coming out this year. Man, I don't know, man. This looked to me like they doing this all for the check. Promotion, money, get people excited about seeing Annabelle. All of a sudden, the Annabelle tickets and sales go crazy. Money. Then people start getting into certain things. People say, hey, let me get into voodoo. I'm telling you, man, this is crazy, man. This is how this stuff works. It's crazy, man. Yeah, Selena's right. She said they like vampires. These demons, you have to invite them in. Yeah, you got to invite this stuff in. Right? Listen, y'all. The reason why I can show this stuff to y'all is because it's an educational lesson. And ain't none of this stuff happening to you unless you invite this stuff in. Sadly, you got people that invite stuff in. They be willing to invite stuff in. You got people that don't believe none of this stuff is real. So that's what they do. It's crazy. Yeah, and then 309 Technology is right. We got Memorial Day weekend coming up. It's going to be a lot of ish. People are going to be doing a lot of stuff. I'm telling you, man. But hey, I got some stuff to do. I got an appointment I also got to get to. I gave y'all the goods. I gave y'all the education. Listen, if y'all like for me to cover stories like this, if y'all like for me to break down about these places, things that are haunted, things that are going on, how does this relate to the Bible? How does this relate to scripture? Because again, this is what my channel's about. Exposing all of these things, letting y'all see what's going on. Listen, y'all, you can't expose it without showing you what's going on. And I'm not afraid to show y'all what's going on. Hey, Sandra, yep. Annabelle been there and she turned up. But listen, it's mainly in the French Quarter area. Everybody's talking about strange stuff in the French Quarter. Ironically, that's the main tourist spot. That's the main tourist spot. Everybody come to the French Quarter. They want to see it. They want to be there. People stay there. Listen, y'all, it's already enough haunted, crazy, demonic, Princess and the Frog for Celiel, you know, the Disney movie Princess and the Frog. Basilia in the French Quarter. It's a lot of stuff in the French Quarter. It's already enough energy as it is. It already enough spiritual stuff to be popping. But you know, hey, combination of a full moon, all it, man, this is off the chain, man. Sin chaos at its finest. This is sin chaos at its finest. But hey, I said enough. I showed you enough. I gave y'all the scriptures. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all have been educated on this. If y'all like this particular type of material, y'all got to mention in the comment section. Not just here in the live chat, because in the live chat, this is about to end. And people got to watch the replay. You got to come in the comment section. Says, yes, Brainwaves, cover more stories like this. Cover more topics like this. And I'll do it. I'll do it. I got no problem doing it. I know a lot about these things. Been there, done that. If you got a particular subject or something you want to cover, hit the PayPal, hit the Venmo. You know what I'm saying? Super chat me at least. Give me some obligation for me to actually cover a particular story as it relates to these type of stories. Because again, these other content creators are not going to cover that. Even my fellow content creators most likely are not going to cover stuff like this. Because it's too spiritual. Then you got a lot of these satanic haters in the community. They gonna try to say you this and say you that just because you covered it. Yeah, 309 technology. I'm gonna be talking about the weather. That's one of the subjects. I mentioned that yesterday. I got that coming up. I wanted to cover this first because I also found out about Marie Laveau's house catching on fire. I was like, that's big news. Just wait, you'll hear about it. Everybody gonna start talking about it now. Why? Because I talk about it. They ain't gonna shout me out. They ain't gonna mention my name. They just gonna act like they just heard about it, and then all of a sudden they gonna start talking about it like they just got the goods, like they got the info. But yeah, I gotta talk about the storms because this weather is not just random weather, right? There's not just random weather here. This weather is a lot that's going on. It's a lot that's going on. It's coming through here in Georgia. It's coming through across the whole freaking country, y'all. This weather be going from coast to coast. I'm going to talk about it. That's coming up in one of my next lives. I'm about to break it down. Y'all about to get Bible. Y'all about to get everything. I told you, this is sin chaos. Y'all going to get the explanation of everything, man. So with that being said, you're welcome, Zandra. I'm glad you enjoyed this live. Telling you, I appreciate you, Zandra. I really do. I appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. All of y'all, man. All of y'all that truly rock with me, that truly actually support, I do appreciate y'all. My fellow content creators that pull up, I appreciate y'all. So like I said, if you like these type of subjects, because not many people are going to cover this type of material and give you Bible with it, let your boy know. Send a PayPal, send a, I can't tell you to send a Cash App, send a PayPal, send a Venmo. Send this, send that. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I just got a notification about somebody talking about me. Making videos trying to say it's me. This is crazy as heck. This is crazy. See, you got these people, man. I'll tell you, let me tell you something. These people desperate as hell, right? They desperate. You got these people that's making videos. You actually got like women in the damn video, right? And then they trying to say, or I don't know, dudes, I don't know who it is. A woman, maybe it's a dude that like a woman, I don't know, but you got them, right? I'm just gonna say it's an actual woman, right? And then you got these dudes who actually trying to put my name in the title like it's me. But it's somebody so crazy. And they making videos trying to say it's me. This is all, see, this is what I was talking about. When I told you that sin abounds. Listen, y'all, the Most High gonna deal with every last one of those people. I'm not worried about them. I'm not focused on them. They want me to talk about them so bad, right? But I just noticed something popped up. I'm not gonna show you. I just got a notification. This is the type of stuff that happens. It's people that I ain't even talked about. I didn't mention their name. I ain't say nothing. And guess what? They on the internet bearing false witness. I told y'all that it's this sin chaos. This is what I'm talking about. You got people on the internet right now making videos about me. I ain't said one word about them, good or bad. I didn't even mention their names, y'all. That's the funny thing about it. I ain't even mention their names. That's why I'm not even showing you who it is. They ain't worth the time. I'm just using this as an example because the notification popped up, right? They try to say that I'm the like particular woman, a woman, whatever that they showing, and they just put my name in there. So they going around trying to make all this content, trying to say it's me. You know how stupid they look? Because people gonna look at it like that's not him. And it's because they don't have no dirt on me, because there is no dirt on me. They got no receipts on me because there are no receipts on me. So guess what they doing? They gotta make up stuff. Now, y'all thought Annabelle was wicked? And yeah, Annabelle is wicked. How wicked is that? Y'all don't think that's wicked? And let me make something known to y'all. Why am I bringing this up before I close? Because if y'all go to these particular channels, if y'all like these videos, if y'all subscribe to these people, y'all don't hold these people accountable, you don't expose these people. Listen, y'all, when you see videos like that about me, y'all need to expose these people. Not me. Y'all need to do it. Y'all need to call these folks out. Because what happens is if you sit back and you just allow these people to go on, some of y'all be liking, some of y'all be sharing, some of y'all subscribe. Guess what y'all doing? Y'all touching an unclean thing. Because when they do this, they're bearing false witness. They're creating stuff that's just definitely not true. And why are they doing this? Because they're paid by a content creator that, you know, I'm not mentioning that content creator, but y'all can put two and two together to figure out who it is. They're paid by a content creator. They're being promoted by a content creator. They run with a content creator. They got association with a content creator. And they believe by them making this content that somehow they actually going to blow up. They actually believe that the Most High is going to bless them for doing that. But you know what it is? Most of these people are demons. I told y'all, sin, chaos. These people are not righteous. They're evil. It takes a sick, evil person to go to those type of extents. Y'all talking about Annabelle being sick? Y'all need to watch out for these people. What the hell are they conjuring up? What are they trying to do? They ain't no different. Hell, these probably some of the people that be attending these Annabelle events. We done started something there. They probably some of the same people that be attending these type of events. Because that's what they do. When the cameras go off, when they go behind the scenes, they engage in this stuff. And if y'all rock with them, if y'all like their videos, if you share their videos, and when I say share their videos, I'm not talking about share it to like call them out. You sharing it because you hee ha ha. Guess what? That makes you unclean because you're touching an unclean thing, like 2 Corinthians said. Let me put it back on the screen. Y'all are touching an unclean thing. And when y'all touch an unclean thing, man, the Most High won't receive you. You're not the Most High's sons or the Most High's daughters. Everybody that do that does not rock with God. That's what the scripture says. You cannot do all of this and still be one of God's sons or one of God's daughters. And you doing this stuff. You're of the devil. You're of Satan. You rock with Annabelle. That's what we're going to start saying. These folks rock with Annabelle. But I'm not going to call out no names because they want me to call out their names. They desperate for attention. They the ones running around on the damn internet acting like a female, paying me attention. Why the hell you got dudes paying me attention? Because those dudes are lusting for me. That's sick. That's nasty. That's satanic. That's disgusting. They want me to be that so bad. Why? Because they actually want to get with me. That's sick. That's demonic, y'all. And y'all know it. That's why they spend all their time trying to make all the stuff. They want me to be that way. They wish they could have me. Man, these niggas can't have me. Sick ass, demonic ass. Y'all thinking about Annabelle? I'm telling you, man, it's some people out here that's just as bad. But hey, I gave y'all the goods. I gave y'all the scriptures. I broke it down. I'm going to go ahead and get into some other things, right? I got an appointment I need to get to and a couple other things. I want to also kick back and relax. It's been a long, long day. But with that being said, y'all know what to do. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all share. Appreciate the support. And I'm going to holler at y'all a little bit later. All right, hold on. I'm trying to look at these comments. So anyway, I'm about to get out of here, man. Appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I got the weather coming up too. Catch y'all on the next one. Blessings and peace. I'm out.